This will now be a Ministry of Regional Development to oversee all regional development commissions such as Niger Delta Development Commission, Northwest Development Commission, Southwest Development Commission, Northeast Development Commission. The National Sports Commission will take over the role of the Ministry of Sports. The Council has approved the merger of the Ministry of Tourism with the Ministry of Culture and Creative Economy. The decision was taken today at the meeting at the Federal Executive Council in Abuja. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has confronted residents of the FCT over accusations of illegal land acquisition during a heated visit to Lugbe area of the FCT. The minister, in a video recorded by one of the residents during the confrontation and shared on social media, criticized residents who had protested against the recent demolition of properties in the area. Wike, who was surrounded by security personnel, scolded the residents for allegedly claiming and illegally adding that the proper legal channel for disputes was the court. The residents, however, challenged Wike's claim, insisting they had documents proving their legal ownership of the land. Also in the news, the Socioeconomic Rights Accountability Project, SORAP, has urged the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, to withdraw his threat to arrest beggars in the nation's capital or face legal action. The group, in a post on its official X handle, stated that no one should be criminalized for their socioeconomic status, adding that the minister should instead provide opportunities to help them rebuild their lives and regenerate into society. The minister had earlier threatened a crackdown on beggars during the flag-off ceremony of the Access Road construction in the Katampe district of the federal capital, as he announced that enforcement agents will start apprehending them from Monday. SORAP is, however, urging the minister to immediately address the socioeconomic rights of marginalized individuals in the FCT. The Minister of State for Youth Development, Oluwande Ayodele, said the federal government is more than ready to foster national solidarity and promote the development of youths in the country. The minister, in a statement signed by the president of the Nigerian Youth Union, NYU, Chinomso Obase, made this known when delegation of the union paid him a visit in his Abuja office and made their demands. According to Obase, the youth delegation demanded the need to recognize the Nigerian youth structure and reorient Nigerian youths on the need for national cohesion. In his response, the minister reaffirmed the ministry's willingness to collaborate with the group in addressing the concerns raised. Now, as the 15-day ultimatum issued by the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, ASUP, to the federal government to meet its demand expires, more lecturers have endorsed the ASUP National Executive Council position to mobilize its members to withdraw their services. The Union Zone D coordinator, Dr. Uloma Richards, speaking in Port Harcourt, said that the government has yet to address the continuous issues in the new guidelines, highlighting the alleged disregard for quality control in polytechnic education, which he warned that if allowed to persist, it will lead to the collapse of technical and vocational education in the country. ASUP had threatened to embark on strike should the government fail to address the contentious new scheme of service for polytechnic lecturers across the country. Minister of Defense Mohammed Badaru has warned mischief makers seeking to instill fear in Nigerians to desist from doing so, saying that the armed forces will not tolerate such. Badaru gave this warning while delivering a keynote at the 3rd National Conference of the Forum of Former Deputy Governors of Nigeria in Abuja, theme Strategic Solutions for Good Governance, Food Security and Sustainable Growth in Nigeria. The minister, who was represented by his special advisor, Technical Ahmed Jibrin, said the armed forces will not relent in bringing all enemies of Nigeria to justice. He reassured Nigerians of the armed forces' commitment to provide security in order to boost food security in the country. Over now to former President Olusegun Obasanjo has blamed the disunity in the country as the reason behind the country's lack of achieving greatness. The former president disclosed this in Abeokuta, where he received a 20-member delegation of League of Northern Democrats, led by the former governor of Kano State, Alhaji Ibrahim Shekarau. He said, despite the unsparing situations of things in the country, he remains an incurable optimist about things turning around for good for the country. Obasanjo also blamed regionalism as practiced before obtaining independence in October 1960 as the foundation of the country's prolonged lack of cohesion. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, has urged the Senate to invite the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and other relative agencies to substantiate the drug-related allegations made against the Deputy Senate Leader, Yisa Ashiru. The NDLEA, in a statement by spokesperson Femi Babafemi, alleged that the senator's residence in Kwara was raided after intelligence revealed it was being used as a drug joint. Recall that the agency had hit back at Ashiru after he accused him of being the most corrupt and compromised agency during last week's debate on a bill seeking to establish the National Institute for Drug Awareness and Rehabilitation. Speaking after a motion by Ashiru at plenary, Akpabio dismissed the NDLEA's claims, describing them as motivated by personal vendetta, just as the Senate constituted a 6-member ad hoc committee to probe the allegations. Farouk Lawan, a former member of the House of Representatives, has regained freedom from the Kuje Custodial Center in Abuja. Lawan, who was the chairman of the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on Fuel Subsidy Regime, was arraigned in 2013 after he allegedly demanded a bribe of $3 million from billionaire businessman Femi Tedola, who accused him of receiving the sum of $500,000. The bribe was said to help influence the removal of the name of his oil company from the list of indicted companies in the fuel subsidy scam of 2012. Kano State Hisbah Commission has declared a Jigawa State Commissioner for Special Duties, Awolu Shankara, wanted. Shankara has earlier been arrested by operatives of the Commission on allegation of having an affair with a married woman. Global television correspondent Idris Jibril tells us more.
Addressing a news conference, Commander General of the Kano State Hisbah Commission, Aminu Ibrahim Daurawa, says Awolu Sankara and one Tasnim Babanabegu were arrested along Lamido Crescent on suspicion of having an affair. Hisbah officials went to the venue where they were, where we are suspecting them to be, and we met them there inside car. Even the Tasnim herself, she hits 5 of our operatives, destroy their phones, but still we managed to arrest them and brought them here to Hisbah Command. Awolu was granted a bail but refused to show up to the command for possible settlement with the husband of Tasnim. They requested for settlement and Hisbah agreed that they should settle out of court, especially Nasiru Buba and Tasnim, because they have children in between them. I personally called Awal Sankara to come here. He told me he is not aware that there is going to be a settlement here today, but he said he is coming. So we have waited this long. He has not come. So right now we are declaring him wanted. According to Tasnim husband, one Nasiru Buba, he has been suspecting his wife's affair with Awolu Sankara, hence his official report to the Hisbah Commission, whose operatives later stormed Awolu's guest house at Lamido Crescent in Kano.
It's not like allegedly, you understand? Like we have evidences, we have videos, we have a lot of things, audios and so on. We've been tracking them with Hisbah, and sometimes even the police helped us in some of the movement.
Although all attempts to speak with Awolu Sankara were not successful, the Jigawa state government has since announced the suspension of Awolu pending investigation into the allegation against him. From Kano, Idris Jibrin reporting for Global.
Still in Kano, traders in Singa market of Kano State have called on the federal government to provide permanent solution to the persistent increase in prices of food items across the country. Global television correspondent Idris Jibril reports that despite the availability of food items in the market, prices have continued to increase at an alarming rate. His report.
This is Singa Market in Kano, the largest commodity market in northern Nigeria. Food items by the truckloads arrive here on daily basis, and there are over 150,000 people trading in Singa Market daily.
It is a kind of market that, serves at least Kano and the environs, and even some neighboring countries, actually.
We have Zone 1, which covered Bellarot, Zone 2, which covered Kandoki, we have Zone 3, which covered Adobayero Road, we have Zone 4, which covered Bella Dandago, and also Yulawa, Zone 5, which covered Bata.
Despite the viability and availability of food items in this market, Traders Union says hundreds of their members have shut down their businesses due to continuous price increase in recent times.
We encountered multiple increase, and some items, even the prices of some items is even multiplied by 100% actually.
According to traders, increase in high cost of production, foreign exchange, poor government policies are some of the reasons responsible for the current economic hardship among Nigerians, leading to price increase virtually on daily basis.
Increase of forex, that's the dollar price. It is almost double from that period to date. Beside that one, there is an increment on the power also. So that's the second reason they are given. Besides that one, even the cost of labor, cost of production, everything.
For most Nigerians, however, unless the current inflation is controlled, high cost of production and transportation are reduced, the future of Nigeria's economic sector may likely continue to remain bleak. From Kano, Idris Jubrin reporting for Global Television News.
You're watching News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. When News Express returns, World Health Organization says intense bombardment stops Gaza polio vaccinations. Details of these as well as foreign and sports stories coming right after this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Global Television, bringing you live broadcast of News Express. Thank you for staying with us. On our business decks now, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has said Nigeria's currency, the Naira, is showing signs of stability. This, it says, is due to recent interest rate hikes and the clearing of foreign exchange backlogs by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. The IMF made this known during a press briefing in Washington, D.C. IMF's financial counselor and director of monetary and capital markets, Tobias Adrin, acknowledged the effort of the CBN in controlling inflation and stabilizing the foreign exchange market. The federal government has withdrawn the money laundering charges against Benares Holdings Limited executive Taran Gambaryan. Benares U.S. head of financial crime compliance, Gambaryan, and the exchange British Kenyan regional manager for Africa, Nadeem Ajawala, were facing money laundering charges to the tune of $35 million brought against them by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and were both initially detained in the custody of the Office of the National Security Advisor. Ajawala, however, fled lawful custody on March 22, 2024, while his counterpart, Gambaryan, was arraigned in April. Following his arraignment, the court ordered his remand to Kuje Correctional Facility. The federal government has stopped the export of locally produced liquefied petroleum gas, also known as cooking gas, to prioritize domestic supply. Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Gas, Ekpo, made the announcement saying the ban will begin November 1, 2024. As such measures is to tackle the high gas price in Nigeria. In a statement by the spokesman of the minister, Louis Iba, the decision was reached after the minister convened a high-level meeting in Abuja with stakeholders to address the skyrocketing price and its attendant hardship on Nigerians. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has acquired equipment and other necessary items to set up an additional 40 compressed natural gas stations nationwide. The program director and chief executive officer of the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, Oluwagbemi Michael, disclosed this to newsmen in Ogun State, saying the NNPC has set up 12 CNG centers in the last 12 months, with 6 in Abuja and 6 in Lagos. The federal government is also planning to have about 100 CNG stations in the next 6 months. On our foreign desk, the World Health Organization has said that intense bombardment and escalation violence in northern Gaza had forced it to postpone the final phase of child pollination drive. The UN Health Agency said the vaccination campaign was called off due to the escalation violence, intense bombardment, displaced orders, and lack of assured humanitarian pauses across most of the northern Gaza. Although the necessary second round of vaccinations have been completed in central and southern Gaza and was to begin in the north, the WHO said it has been compelled to postpone the bid to give 119,279 children in northern Gaza a second vaccine dose. Israel launched a major air and ground assault in northern Gaza this month, vowing to stop Hamas militants from regrouping in the area. Defense Secretary John Kelly says Trump's campaign have got this wrong. He says the campaigners are individual Labour Party members and that there is no organized deal on this, as they're all volunteers and they pay their way. He added that this is Trump's campaign doing what campaigns do, creating controversy during an election, reiterating that they will work with whatever president the American people elect. Reports say Donald Trump's campaign has accused the UK's Labour Party of blatant foreign interference in a complaint filed to the U.S. Federal Election Commission, FEC. Also, Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has played down the significance of the alleged interference by the Labour Party in the U.S. presidential election. Sir Keir, who met Trump last month, said party staff going to the U.S. to campaign for Democratic candidate Kamala Harris were volunteers, doing it in their spare time and staying with other volunteers. Meanwhile, the Environment Secretary Steve Reed said the Labour Party had not funded or organized their trips, just as Sir Keir denied the real risk jeopardizing his relationship with Trump. King Charles has arrived in Samoa for a 4-day state visit where he will preside for the first time over a gathering of Commonwealth presidents and prime ministers. Prime Minister Flayam Naomi Mataafa greeted the King and Queen. Camilla at Puaro International Airport, where a red carpet have been rolled out amid high winds and last-minute vacuum cleaning. The Royal Samoan Police Band began playing as the couple alighted and met local officials. In sports now, an 89th minute late goal saw the under-17 Nigerian women team, the Flamingos, beat host Dominican Republic in Santo Domingo in the ongoing 2024 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. Midfielder Shakirat Moshood collected the ball from 25 yards and launched a powerful left-footed strike at goal, which went past the Dominican goalkeeper, marking her fourth in the tournament. The win is the Flamingos' third consecutive as they emerge Group A leaders above Ecuador, hosts Dominican and New Zealand. The Flamingos have been in blustering form in the South African nation, winning their 2 games, scoring 8 goals and conceding just 1. Real Madrid duo Tibet Castros and Reguilón are likely to miss the Clásico clash with La Liga leaders Barcelona on Saturday with injury problems. Madrid revealed in a statement that Castros have been diagnosed with an abductor injury in his left leg, with Ukrainian stopper Adrian in his usual replacement, who had earlier stood in him in the month after Belgium suffered a minor hip injury. Meanwhile, Rodrigo appeared hurt during the final stage of the win over Denmark, and Madrid coach Ancelotti said the winger had a muscular injury. Spanish media reported that Rodrigo is poised to miss the game against the league leaders with a hamstring issue. To end the News Express on Global Television, here is a quick summary. Federal Executive Council has scrapped 2 ministers and merged 2. In business, the International Monetary Fund has said that the Naira is showing signs of stability. And on the foreign scene, World Health Organization revealed that intense bombardment stopped Gaza polio vaccination. And finally, in sports, Real Madrid, Tabat Castros and Rodrigo are set to miss El Clasico due to injury. And that's it on News Express, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, Star Times channel 276, and free to air on Nicomsat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms by using the Global TV NG and the handles now showing on your screen. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.